something that I actually think about constantly, is I really believe that we need to form a consumer protection program like the National Association of Accredited iBuyers, right? And we need to set some like metrics on which we are going to hold these big companies accountable. And then this organization can make sure that we keep the consumer's best interests at heart.
Up on a
what's happening?
Little rainy, fun day.
Yeah, nice. It was a rainy, crazy night last night.
I know. I actually saw your guys' stories, and it looked like a freaking, like
there's a hurricane,
tropical storm rolling through. I thought my roof was going to blow
Fred
off for a bit.
in Queen Creek. Yeah, yeah.
That we're in Edna.
Yeah, Edna.
Did you get it? Where you were at?
Yeah, I get part of my metal roof on my shed blew off.
Aww. Oh shit! Really?
Yep.
Dang it!
So I have to go fix that when I get home.
Was that a Pepe?
Well, he installed it, yeah. But
wait, was that a Pepe? What does that mean?
Okay, let's move on.
Let's move on.
There is
That's a real estate show,
Yes.
not a weather show. Yeah.
And today's forecast.
Today's forecast has investigations of the federal nature. We have also some earnings to report from Zillow and Open Door. What else is going on? A lot is going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, like, first and foremost, I mean, gosh, there's so much hot stuff, like you said. I don't even know where to really to start with, because we can go off with the reporting, but let's start with the
audio. Your audio's off. I think you need to be closer to your mic, Elliot.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Or like move it up.
Can you hear me now?
Close to my mouth.
Yeah, that's
tall
better.
people probs. Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah,
so I think we need to talk about what happened to Republican lawmakers. Initiated,
Ken Buck and Senator Mike Lee.
Okay, they initiated an investigation with the Federal Trade Commission into Zillow. Right? Why? Well, they're saying perhaps they're hinting at some unfair anti-competitive business practices. Maybe that Zillow is now telling sellers what their home is worth and then giving them an offer at that price and then turning around and selling the home for more on the open market. And so is there something sinister going on, or have we just had record appreciation? And so Zillow has just kind of made good bets. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think the consumer is able to choose, but at the same time, there's many forms of data. The biggest thing is there you have over 280 million eyeballs every single month, and they are probably the most trusted resource for real estate by the average consumer, right? They are the #1 real estate website in the world. 280 million visitors every month.
But can a website tell you what it's worth, what your house is worth, and then buy it and then resell it for more? Because if they're telling you it's worth this, I mean they're literally like buying it, the people move out and they put it on the market for higher.
All right.
So like, there's definitely some. I can see their angle right there.
Yep.
It's definitely.
Well, but did they improve the property?
Yeah. Well, definitely it's an angle, right? I mean, I get it. I mean, they have costs, right? Zillow has costs, and so they have to sell it for a little bit more. But can they tell you what I mean, people trust the Zestimate, right? They trust the Zestimate. They go, okay, this is what my house is worth, right, to the market. Really, I mean, yeah, there's definitely some teeth in the argument.
Well, I mean, who determines price, right? Sorry.
No, it's I I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think that real estate is changing so rapidly that even our government's like, what's going on here? Because this is it's becoming more mainstream territory. It's not new to us. We've been seeing this happen for damn near half a decade now. However, at the end of the day, it's what a buyer's willing to pay and what a seller's willing to accept. I mean, there's so much data out there that a consumer, that this is what someone's willing to pay for your house as a cash offer. So, if they're happy with that, then guess what? If the consumer wanted potentially more money, why didn't they play the open market? So that's the way I look at it. I'm not saying it's good, bad, right, or wrong, but this is where our industry is headed.
Well, and I'll follow what you were saying earlier. There's so much of that don't touch the coffee, it's hot disclosure that goes on, and it's just, I mean, like, think about it. In the short time that all of us long time that all of us have been in, real estate. I don't remember. I think the contract was like originally like what, 5-6 pages, 7 pages, and now it's, a bunch of pages, right? Because of all of the additional disclosures. I could see something like this, if this continues, right? Like a refinance where there's a 3-day rescission period, right? That they sign the documents and things don't actually get done to make sure that they are happy with their decision, right? So it's just...
Yeah, a couple thoughts. So first thought, we are living through the institutionalization of real estate.
Yes.
It's a really hard word to say.
Say that again. What?
Institutionalization.
That's right. We are living through it, and we're seeing that happen. And so what is that going to look like? And then second thought, something that I actually think about constantly, is I really believe that we need to form a consumer protection program like the National Association of Accredited iBuyers, right? And we need to set some metrics on which we are going to hold these big companies accountable. And then this organization can make sure that we keep the consumer's best interests at heart. Like that for me is, I just look at what's happening and I kind of think that there does need to be some protections in place.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Cause if someone can say, hey, this is what your house is worth, and then turn around a month later and sell it for $100,000 more.
Is
that
well, especially when they're being
good for a
used
company
as
that
the
powerful?
relied source, right? I follow the argument.
Yeah, for sure.
I do too, but I'm just playing devil's advocate, right? There's always two different angles to everything, and I'm more on, yes, we need to hold people, these institutions accountable, but at the same time, so with what you said, then let's make flipping illegal, because that's what flippers do.
Yeah.
Well, but they're not like a big corporation.
No, I understand
they're usually
that,
private people.
They're going. So you have a private entity going to a consumer and saying, "This is what your house is worth based on its condition." Oh, and by the way, I'm going to make a possible killing.
I could see where they could maybe do that, make it illegal for a real estate agent, because they have a license, right? They have fiduciary duty to that customer, because if you as an agent go and say, hey, your house is worth $200,000. I'll buy it for $200,000, and then you buy it, and you turn around and put it on the market for $275,000. I mean,
well, that's one of the most unique things about our industry, right?
We've never done that before.
And when you really think about our industry, that's one of the most unique things about it, right? Like, you can't do that as a stockbroker, right? It's insider trading. Like that, those things are.
Yeah, you'd be like Martha Stewart.
Yeah, it literally is illegal. You cannot go. Buy it and sell it for a major profit because of your expertise in your particular field, where it is allowed in this circumstance that somebody can walk into a house, offer $200,000, works for the seller, they put in $5,000 of lipstick and sell the dang thing for $300,000, especially in today's market.
I think the biggest thing is that we need to realize is that the consumer wants convenience, the consumer wants certainty, the consumer wants transparency around what it's going to cost.
And all of that costs money.
Exactly.
A lot of money.
And there's no way to predict the future. I mean, these companies can use data and they can have some really cool predictive data that they use, but there's no way to tell for sure what it's going to sell for. And this market has been unprecedented. So part of me feels like maybe Zillow's getting an unfair shake just because we have had record appreciation. And so I think that they're out there acquiring homes because they want to provide this certain, convenient, easy sale.
The other part of that too that we're not looking at, right, is they're basing it on when the property was acquired versus when it was liquidated, not when the offer was made. Right. And like you said, when the velocity of the market is moving as much as it is, and based on conditions, right, demand, et cetera, they could have made the offer 60 days prior to closing and then didn't sell it for another 60 days. So that's actually a 120-day turn of values in that circumstance. And I don't think that that's being factored, and it should be factored.
So this article talks about how 2 lawmakers have sent a letter to the FTC urging the agency to scrutinize real estate's Zillow's planned acquisition of ShowingTime, warning the deal could harm homebuyers and Zillow's competitors. So this is also interesting.
Well, it's all data, right? I mean, if they start controlling data at that level,
yeah, I mean, where does it end, and can they control that much?
Well, I can
or should
say,
they control that much?
They let it happen with Facebook. Just saying.
Well, yeah. Well, they did. They but and what did Facebook do? They they connected people. They commoditized connections. And that's all Zillow did, was just commoditized real estate data in a way that made it make sense, right? It used to be, you know, I was studying kind of the origins of how everything started. And Realtor.com, I didn't realize this, Realtor.com initially didn't put any closed sales on Realtor.com. Why? Because we were for the realtor. We didn't want to give the public access to what homes sold for, because then guess what? Then you can find out what your house is worth on your own and you don't need us. Well, Zillow stepped up and said, you know what? We're going to give this data to them, and we're going to come up with a way to let them know with just looking at a screen approximately what your house is worth. And so they commoditized the information and made it make sense. Like, kudos to them. I think, you know, I think the reality is that we aren't doing our job in the capacity we need to be doing our jobs.
Yeah, well, I mean, think of the industry in general, right? Is the huge argument is as the practitioners, as licensed realtors or licensed real estate agents and members of the National Association of Realtors, they have taken our data and are now sharing it against our allowance, right? And then selling it back to us on a lot of levels.
Yeah, it's genius.
Well, I think that, you know, our message is, you know, still the same regardless of what direction all this goes. It's, you know, what we all stand for, which is being an advocate for the agent. So what does that mean? It means just educating yourselves. Make sure you know what's going on, because home sellers and buyers, they still want that experience, right? So if you can just know what's going on and then figure out, how do I be a part of this?
Yeah, how do you fit?
How do I embrace this and use it to your advantage? Because there's always a way.
And that's what people, the agents that are adapting to this market are doing, and they're going to crush it. The people that, and the agents that don't adapt to that, they're going to slowly wither away and not have as much real estate opportunities.
Yeah.
So last week, Kayla and I were in Atlanta at the Recreate event, as we all know, and which great event, by the way. James, Giselle, good job. Anyway, getting to the point of what I want to say is we were talking about the earnings reports, which I know is we're getting ready to talk to. So one of my biggest nuggets that I want to bring up goes exactly with what Keith was just saying, is they bought per the earnings call, they have bought approximately 8,500 homes.
Who is this?
Open Door.
Oh, we're talking about Open Door. I thought we were talking about Recreate.
No. So at that, this was mentioned anyhow.
Oh, it was mentioned at the Recreate.
Yes.
Okay.
So 8,500 homes that they had acquired, right, during that. And my challenge wasn't the thing that I'm talking about, is to Keith's point, is do you believe that those 8,500 people did not know a real estate agent? Of course they did. They chose not to work with them, the overwhelming majority of them, because of the done-for-you solution. Like Keith is saying, where it's this done-for-you solution that today's consumer is demanding, that they are asking, requesting a far more simple, frictionless, certainty, convenient, and best cost, style of transaction.
What's crazy to me is that you have, like, we're in the most amazing real estate market right now, and what the previous quarter, Open Door had like 3,500. They acquired 3,500 homes, and then this quarter, 8,500 homes. Like, that is a massive growth.
And let's not forget that they
300%.
also had,
In the best market.
Yeah, and they also had 8,100 contracts on homes.
Yeah.
So you total that, it's over 16,000 homes that they either acquired or had an offer to purchase on by the end of the second quarter. And I was just curious, and I averaged it out over the quarter, and that equals out to 185 homes a day.
Boom!
That Open Door is taking
Crushing
down.
it.
Across now 39 markets.
Crushing
And
it.
growing. And they have a grand vision. And in the shareholder letter, Eric Wu said that they attribute all of this phenomenal growth to the seismic shift in consumer behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The seismic shift.
And guess what? They created that.
They created the shift, but the consumers
they put a
are
spotlight
demanding
on-
it.
yes.
They figured out what the consumers wanted, and they figured out a way to do it.
Right.
Now we'll see how it ends up. Because they are still losing money, but the more and more they capture
due to the rapid expansion,
more inventory, I see, You know, I'm looking at properties on the MLS, and like every other few properties, it's open door, open door owns
Zillow,
it.
or even OfferPad. They're getting their little slices too,
for sure. But yeah, and here we go. Something just came out today that Open Door is looking for another $800 million in funding to purchase more homes. Probably, I'm sure they're running out of money. They're going. We have these billions of dollars that's slowly going away. We're going to hold on to more of these properties because we know that their offers are a little bit more than market right now. Well, some of them are, some of them aren't. I think it's
certain zips. Yeah.
Yep. So how much of the market can they take?
Well, and not only that, I'm sure you guys, I don't know, are you guys getting the emails and whatnot from Open Door too, that they're actually, you know, obviously recruiting agents and, you know, wanting to hire and
that's such old news, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying that they have continued that, obviously, to support that rapid growth.
Yeah, because they have growth. They have all these leads. They have all these people that are you know, selling to Open Door, and then they're trying to capture the buy sides as well. So they need agents to go out there and show houses and. Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine being in Eric Wu's shoes, or whoever's a part of that process of raising money. Like, you know what? We're not asking for quite $1 billion, so it should be pretty easy. It should be pretty easy.
No
just
worries.
$860 million. Come on.
That's awesome.
We'll raise that in a week, no problem.
Sure.
What a wild experience, right?
Pretty amazing. Yeah. I think it's really cool though that what we're doing is we're saying to realtors like, hey, like join us and we can be the agent iBuyer. We can be the Open Door for agents, right?
Well, and the funny thing is with the power of the agent that already has all of the consumers, in theory, we can become more powerful than even these companies that we're talking about. Like, in a good way, right? Like as a collective, not us as like a selfish individual, right? But I'm talking about the collective of the 1.4 million, you know, realtors that are out there. If we band together, service, make sure that they don't get fleeced out of their equity, like Jay was talking about. Jake from State Farm. Jay was talking about just a minute ago. It really heightens the experience. It's the best of all worlds.
Sure. Yeah. And with the digital experience as well. So
right.
I think that's what the consumers are really attaching themselves to, is the digital experience as well. They're not just looking at like, the easy, convenient, but that's part of the convenience, right?
Well, I think also it's about explaining your value proposition and setting your expectations in a way that someone can go onto your website or like connect with you, and they can very clearly understand what you do, how you can help them, and what it's going to look like if you do business with them, and then delivering on that value proposition like over and over and over and over again. And I think that's probably the breakdown with most realtors, not all, some are very good, but most realtors don't tend to be super process orientated. And so they not only can't really communicate and set their expectations, but then delivering on it, every situation ends up being its own little animal.
Right.
Whereas like Open Doors came in and said like, here's how we're going to do it. And if you have this experience in Phoenix, you're going to get the same experience if you sell a house in Atlanta, and you're going to get the same experience in Dallas, and you're going to get the same experience in, Florida. And so they've systematized the real estate process like at scale.
Yeah, and so
it's actually awesome.
If you're an agent out there, like what should agents be doing, right? What's the messaging that agents should be putting out there to compete with these big companies?
Well, before you do that, I want to start out one thing, just because I know for me, like with the coaching to the agents and whatnot within our Zoodealio ecosystem, to me, everything starts with awareness, right? Like, and now what you expand off of that is what we can maybe dive into. But like, to me, you have to start with everything. Starts and stops with, or the lack of, awareness.
Well, and I think agents are seeing the Open Door signs all over the place, the Zillow signs, the OfferPad signs. If you're not aware, then you got your head in the sand, because it's happening. There's, everywhere you drive, there's an Open Door sign, an OfferPad sign, a Zillow sign.
And here's the thing: if you're in a market, like we have a lot of users that are in markets where maybe iBuyers aren't as prevalent, like New Mexico. And so if you're not aware, then maybe this is an amazing opportunity for you to seize upon, because you can go into your marketplace with these value propositions. We can help. Yeah, exactly. And you can be the Open Door of your local market, and you'll crush it. And so if you're you're not aware of it, I think there's tremendous opportunity.
It's almost like you get to like look into the future by 2 to 3, 4, 5 years in some of these markets.
It's not
like,
almost, it is.
Yeah, it absolutely is because they're gonna come to those markets.
Oh, no question.
I mean,
the consumer has spoken. Period.
Yeah, they're coming to the markets. They're saying that they're coming to the markets. They're just not there yet. So if you're an agent and they're not there in that market, start with their with that messaging and use the Zoodealio system. We have investors out there in New Mexico and some of those markets that don't have the big iBuyers yet, and we can help you.
Yeah, that buy the house, lease it back for up to 6 months, right? There's a lot of huge value propositions, and I think that to me, it does start with awareness, right? Because yes, everything, you want to work with people that know you, like you, trust you, and when they think of you, they think of real estate, or they think of real estate, they think of you, vice versa. My point is it still starts with like the barrier of entry, right? Like these done for you solutions. And when an agent that has a relationship that can provide these same type of services and still operate off of a fiduciary basis, the business is theirs to lose, right? Like it's maintaining the relationship, maintaining the clear value proposition that you can bring to your clientele. Like that is the capitalistic side of me that comes out, right? It's like, it's up to you, dude.
That's right. What else we got, guys? We've been beating that one up all morning.
Well, there's a lot there. So, going back to Zillow, okay, because we talked about the FTC investigation, and I guess that all stemmed from the ShowingTime acquisition, which hasn't went through yet, though, right?
No, it hasn't gone.
It hasn't gone through yet, and so maybe this investigation will throw a little wrench in that. I don't know. Who knows? I didn't read all of the write up on it, so I'm not quite sure. But we talked about Open Doors numbers. We didn't talk about Zillow's numbers.
Yeah.
So
hit them.
Right. So let's see. I've got a couple here written down. I talked about this on my call on Monday. So they didn't do quite as many homes as Open Door. So they ended up at about 3,500 homes or 3,800 homes purchased and about 3,100 homes with contracts at the end of the quarter. So they ended up
How many markets are they in though? Like, cause I'm
8,000, right?
Not 8,000 markets.
No, I'm talking about homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8,000. Yeah. Do you know how many markets they're in offhand? I forget.
Do not.
I think they're in the 20s, so it's not. I know it's not quite as much.
So their numbers to me were kind of like, I don't know. I mean, they were good, but compared to Open Door, not quite as good. The interesting thing, though, that really stuck out at me, guys, listen to this. 40% of Zillow home loan purchase originations were sourced from Zillow offers.
That's insane.
Wow.
Like the bundling services, I think is something that is going to really be one of the waves of the future. I think the whole bundle and save, if you will, is coming. For
that
sure.
sounds familiar.
Yeah. That was my point.
Yeah, I mean that's what happened with phones, right? With the telephones and Cox
and with insurance.
Yep,
yeah, insurance,
everything.
Absolutely.
When I was doing door-to-door sales for Comcast Cable in Albuquerque a decade ago, they started that slogan: bundle and save. Get your home phone, internet, and cable all in one. Bundle and save.
Yeah.
How times have changed.
That'd be my sales pitch at the door.
Let's stay the same.
I think there's still some people that have like landlines because.
Yeah, who has a landline?
Yeah.
Don't.
Do you, Keith?
No.
I think we did for a while, and then
we
never even had we didn't even have a phone to like connect in there.
We didn't even know the phone number. Yeah. Like, I don't even think we had a phone.
Yeah.
Was it just like thrown in or something?
It was a bundle.
Yeah, it was a bundle. It's like if you don't get it, it's more expensive, right? So you're like, all right, yeah, throw it in. Okay, I don't care.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 40% of their originations.
So and I know like Open Doors attachment hasn't been quite as high.
Open Door did not disclose those numbers, so
Well, I only know them just because of some of our relationships. I was actually looking into that about a month and a half ago, and before it was like I know originally they almost I heard this was all through grapevine, they almost like actually folded it because their attachment rate was only like 2%, but then it's 9%, and now it's like up to 12%.
Yeah, that's right. Now that you're saying that, that's jogging my memory. I remember reading that as well.
So, but they're figuring it out, right? Like that's the whole thing. Like, is they're continually figuring it out. And one of my theories, guys, just as I know we're about running out of time here, but like Zillow, they are the 800-pound gorilla. Controlling the eyeballs is ginormous, and 280 million people, those eyeballs that they're controlling, I think they're going to figure it out.
Well, I mean,
and when that
the numbers
falls,
are showing that Open Door is crushing them, man.
But that's what I'm saying. Their domino and their hammer that they swing is so big. When it falls, I think it's going to fall. I mean, I'm not saying that Open Door is not up for the fight. I think Eric Wu and their whole organization, we all know what fans we are of them. Because they are. It's a phenomenal service, and the way that they run and do everything is fantastic. I'm a fan, not a hater. What I am saying is 280 million eyeballs month in and month out carries a lot of power.
Yeah.
It does, but yeah, like Jason said, Open Door seems to be leading the pack.
And Open Door was the first, so there's something to be said when there's, when you're a first.
Their experience is super dialed in.
They're the Godfather, bro. Nobody messes with the Godfather.
Well, I think it has to do with vision. I've said
Absolutely.
this before. I believe more in Eric Wu's vision of the future of real estate, and it just feels very authentic to me. And anytime I've heard the man talk, it's felt right. It's felt good. Rich Barton, on the other hand, brilliant man, but I can't say, like we were talking about, like who we would like to talk to. Of course, I would like to talk to Rich Barton. Okay, all right, like Rich, if you're listening, let's talk.
Can we have you on our podcast?
Will
Please?
you come on our podcast? Of course, I would love to talk to him, but I would rather talk to Eric Wu. And I would
That's a
trust
tough one for
Eric
me if I
Wu
had to
probably over Rich Barton.
Yeah, because Zillow really, they pivoted. They pivoted from what
Oh,
they're
yeah,
doing
absolutely.
into iBuyer. And after they saw it, they're going, oh, wow. I think their numbers went down.
Their stock tanked,
Yeah, their
actually.
stock tanked after
Now-
a while.
It's
It's tanking
really
right
low.
now.
It's like at 91.
Their market cap
was
is
up at
taking like a
180.
$10 billion hit in a month, dude. They're being hit hard.
So
right
is
now.
it this FTC thing?
I don't know.
Does Brian Bear have an invitation to our podcast?
No.
Keith coming in hot.
You know what? Like, let's
Or Spencer
turn,
Raskoff.
Let's turn a new leaf. Yes, Brian Bear.
Yes.
We would definitely have you.
You
on the
can even
podcast.
wear your sweater vest.
I don't think he's coming, guys.
You never know, Jason. Stranger things have happened. We got to be
true.
open-minded.
All right. Unfortunately, we are out of time today, guys. I know that was a lot of info packed, maybe to be continued on some of that stuff. Love it. Appreciate you guys, all your knowledge coming in with facts and figures.
All right. Don't forget to like,
And
comment, subscribe, and if you have questions about about the market, please reach out to us and we'll answer them.